Glucose has aldehyde group and fructose has ketone group. Aldehyde alone or ketone alone is going to act as reducing agent, but in Hello Bandhagan, Namaskar and welcome back to my YouTube channel Sahil Educations. In the last video we have left one part that the right end is a reducing end of this polysaccharide made up of glucose. Just take it as glucose, and whereas the left end is non-reducing of this polysaccharide made up of glucose, and this polysaccharide is made up of actually 3 glucose molecules called as amylose. Now if we want to get the answer, we have to explore the right end first and then the left end. If we say that the medium just came up with higher amount of oxygen, then what happens in this right end of this polysaccharide? Let's see, there is the right end glucose molecule, and this glucose molecule has hydroxyl group here and the hydrogen here. What happens here? Just like this oxygen and hydrogen had a bond between this, and this electron is being snatched by this oxygen, and this hydrogen is free now here. So this hydrogen becomes H plus, and after at the same time the electron share between this carbon and oxygen, this electron has been transferred or snatched back into the oxygen, this molecule, and so this bond will be broken down and this will become O minus, and there comes a double bond between this one with this electron, and the electron came from this hydrogen, and this double bond between the carbon molecule and oxygen, and this oxygen molecule is negatively charged and this one is the positively charged hydrogen. It will come and bind with this oxygen and it will become OH, and now this one looks like, just say this is OH and the rest is carbon, double bond oxygen and single bond hydrogen. Now see, at the right end we get a free aldehyde group, and we know from the previous video that the free aldehyde or ketone group present in any carbohydrate makes it a reducing sugar or makes it a reducing carbohydrate. Okay, so how this becomes reducing now? Let's suppose you have added CuO, which is cupric oxide or copper 2 oxide. Okay, so this cupric oxide has oxygen atom with it. This oxygen atom will be engulfed by this carbon atom, and this carbon atom will have extra hydroxyl group now instead of only hydrogen, and this aldehyde group have become acid group now. That is why you can say that this glucose molecule have been oxidized from aldehyde to acid group, and this cupric oxide have become now cuprous oxide. This cuprous oxide has a brick red color, which you can see in case of Benedict test. That is why we use Benedict test as a confirmatory test to test whether the glucose or the sugar, whatever you are testing, is reducing or non-reducing. If it is reducing, then it can change the cupric oxide into cuprous oxide, and hence you can color brick red precipitation of this cuprous oxide. And if you do not get the precipitation of this cuprous oxide, that means you can say that the sugar you have tested was not reducing. So this was all about the right end and left end. If you talk about the sucrose molecule, the sucrose molecule is reducing sugar or non-reducing sugar. So let's see the structure here. Okay, if you talk about the sucrose molecule, it is made up of glucose and fructose. So glucose has aldehyde group and fructose has ketone group. Aldehyde alone or ketone alone is going to act as reducing But in case of sucrose, the aldehyde and ketone group is vanished here. The aldehyde and ketone group have not been able to get free from this molecule. That is, the molecule is not going to act as a reducing sugar. So let's see that how the aldehyde and ketone group are going to be fused together, or are they are going to be vanished together. So let's see, this one is the glucose molecule, and the carbon number 1 of this glucose molecule is here, and this carbon is actually going to contain the aldehyde group, and you can see the OH and H here. If you draw the structure of fructose, it looks like this one, and the OH is present here of this carbon number 2, and this OH and this one OH is going to combine together, or you can say that fuse together, to remove one water molecule, and whatever is left here is this one is the carbon number 1 of glucose, and this one is the carbon number 2 of fructose. So you see, or you know, that glucose has aldehyde, free aldehyde group in carbon number 1, and fructose have a free ketone group in carbon number 2, and both the carbons of the consecutive glucose and fructose is busy here, is engaged here, and so you can see that no free aldehyde or ketone is possible in this compound, and hence sucrose is not a reducing sugar. So that's all for today. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Agent.